Okay, all right. First of all, we had a pretty challenging week last week. We had five positives after our Sunday tests, and we had four more positives throughout the week. We did practice on Tuesday, which I thought was a very good practice. We had 16 to 18 players out, COVID-related issues for that practice. Wednesday, we had to cancel practice. We had two position groups that we just didn't feel like had enough guys to be able to practice. On Thursday, we decided to test everyone again, which we will start getting into routine now. We're going to test our guys twice a week, Sunday and Thursday. So we did that on Thursday, and then the shooting in Wisconsin, everything that went with it. Our players were, extremely upset as they should have been, and my coaches, myself, felt the same way. The players didn't they really decided they didn't want to attend meetings that day, and I fully support that along with our staff. Friday we decided that just to meet with our players, and then I made the decision that we weren't going to practice on Saturday and just get ready for the next week. As far as this week's schedule goes, we had meetings today, which were very good. We ended up testing our guys again. Monday we'll be off, and then we'll get back on the practice field Tuesday. We're going to practice Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to test and be off on Thursday again, and then Friday we'll practice, and then Saturday we'll scrimmage. We're going to have 16 guys that will not be able to participate this week in practice. So we're adjusting as we go. And like I said, it's been challenging with the number of players out and just adjusting. As we go. Questions?
Our first question is from David Pascal.
Hey, Coach, I've got a COVID question in just a sec, but I did want to ask you about Jay Hardy, the freshman from Chattanooga, how he's doing so far. And is there kind of a premium on him needing to play sooner than later, given what you lost there a year ago?
Well, and I think Jay's off to a good start. Not just him, but a lot of our freshmen, most of our freshmen, we're going to need to rely on them this year, and we've made that clear. And I think as a group, the whole group has really done a solid job. But I'm really excited about Jay and what he brings for the future.
And do you think this may be one of those seasons that has an asterisk, even in SEC play, given that it could be the day before a game and you may not have your running back room, or teams may be going through this all season long?
Yeah, we're learning as we go here. You know, every day and every week is a different challenge, and we talked about the teams that can be adaptable. But this is a learning process, I think, for everyone, and I think for us, we're testing probably as much or more than anyone. So it's given us really good information. The challenge with having students back the last 2 weeks, obviously we hadn't responded as well as we did, before they did. We're going to have to adjust. We're going to have to adapt. But we're just taking it day by day and week by week, and we'll see, what happens once the season gets here.
Next question is from Mark Murphy.
Yes, what are going to be your goals this week in practice, and how much has it messed your big picture schedule up and what you want to accomplish so far in preseason?
Yeah, obviously last week, it was we practiced one time, so we're gonna, no matter how many we got out, we're going to continue to practice this week, and we'll just have to adjust as coaches. And if we have a small number of a position group, we'll just have to adjust. And so that's really going to be the name of the game moving forward. But we will practice, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, and with who we got out there, we'll make the best of it.
And goals for this week?
To practice.
Next question is from Steve Mouton.
Sorry about that, Coach. To that end, I know your goal is to practice, but what kinds of practices are you forming with this lighter roster this week?
Well, like I said, it's just about adjustments. We still got a good number on our roster, and we'll just take it day by day and get the most out of it. So that's really as simple as that.
Next question is from Ryan Hennessy.
Coach, with this happening, obviously, really the whole world right now. It's unknown on what's going to happen in the future. But did you kind of prepare for this type of outbreak, or was this a surprise to you? And how is this going to help you guys moving forward into the season on the 26th?
I think it's fair to say I don't think anybody knew what to really expect. I mean, like I said, you just you take it week by week, and you've got to adjust, and it's a learning process. And I know it has been for us and our players, and and so we'll just try to get better each week. We're going to try to really do a better job. I mean, our players are learning too. I mean, you bring the students back on campus, and if you live off campus, even if you got a roommate, you got to have your mask on. You got to stay on the other side of the house. I mean, it's just a learning process, and I believe our guys are going to do everything they can to be healthy and keep our team healthy.
Next question is from Jason Caldwell.
Gus, just to clarify, did you say 5 positives, and then were there 16 kind of contact number? Is that the number?
No,
for those
we had 5, and then we had 4 later on, and then the rest of them were contact type tracing type situations. Yeah.
Any position that's been hit, or is it kind of spread out among the team?
Yeah, I'd rather not get into specific groups, but we did have two position groups last week that at least on Wednesday we didn't feel comfortable practicing with that many guys out.
Thank you.
Next question is from Philip Marshall.
Gus, did you can you make up for the time you missed, the practices you missed, or you just have to go on? I mean, it's getting fairly close now, I guess, really to game week.
Yeah. Oh, what are we, 4 weeks from yesterday? I mean, it's there's definitely the urgency, but the bottom line is the health and safety of our players. That's always going to be first, and and when you're going through this, I mean, there's a competitive side, but we're always going to put our team first, and the health and mental and physical health of our players. And but yeah, we understand we're 4 weeks out. We feel like we got time to prepare. But like I said, we'll take it day by day and do the best we can.
Thanks.
Next question is from Bill Cameron. Bill.
Coach, what's the protocol for the 16? How long are they going to be on? How long do they have to be out?
Well, it depends on the situation as far as a close contact or just a regular tracing. So it's all different.
Do the ones that have tested positive, I mean, do they just need a negative test, or is there a certain amount of time they have to be out?
The ones that tested positive are out 10 days, and then we have a 7-day back to play process to make sure that they're healthy enough to get back in practice.
Next question is from Mark Murphy.
That's when somebody tests positive, do you test them again? Because a lot of people I know have had false positives.
Yeah, so we've been fortunate enough, like I've said a couple weeks ago, we have the gold standard test, that is the best test out there, where they goes up your nose pretty far, and then they do the swab on your mouth, and so ours have been very accurate. I know there's some that have quick turnaround that you can do on campus that obviously you can get false negatives or positives with that, but we feel pretty certain ours have been correct.
Next question is from Brian Matthews.
Hi, Coach. Thank you for speaking to us tonight. If this was game week, Coach, do you feel like your team should play, or do you feel like this should be one of the weeks where you're able to postpone? And has the SEC given you any guidance on how they're going to handle that?
I think if it was game week, you got to find a way to play with what you got. I mean, that's probably going to be the way to adjust. But as far as the guidelines from the SEC, I mean, I do know that we're going to start testing the same way. I believe 2 weeks before we start playing with the new protocols. What is it, 3 times a week and all that? So that's probably the best way to answer that.
Well, I guess as a follow-up, I mean, the SEC did put in a weekend in the middle of the season and then another at the end to have these makeup games. Do you feel like there is some number of positives or some number of players out that teams should be able to qualify to have a postponement?
Yeah, I'm sure that as it gets closer, we'll have have some more guidelines with that. But I just think we're just going to have to see as we get closer.
Thank you,
Got a
Coach.
follow-up from Philip Marshall.
Trouble finding that little microphone again. Sorry, Gus.
It's all right.
Without asking for specifics, was there one event or one thing that caused a flare up?
Say it again.
I said, without asking for specifics about where they might have gone or whatever, was there one event that caused some of this flare up in case of it?
The COVID testing positive. There's not one event. It's a combination. Like I said, I think the big thing is with students being back for the second week. Some of our guys were off campus with a roommate's girlfriend. I mean, so it's really one was in the dorm. It's really just learning to operate in using COVID etiquette. And like I said, before our students came back, I thought we were in a super spot. Our guys are doing a great job, but I really feel strong that our guys will adapt and adjust, and I feel strong that we'll be better next week than we were this past week.
Got a follow-up from Jason Caldwell.
Gus, you talked about trying to go 3 or 4 deep and doing those things. Offensive line, that's never really been done before. With this missed time too, is this a situation where you may have to, in addition to scrimmages, maybe go into a season and take a look at different guys because you might need so many different guys on the offensive line?
Yeah, I would hope that we would have a good idea by the time we played our first game about our top 10 guys, and offensive line is very unique that you can actually move guys around. So, if we could get it our top 10 guys, I think that would be a really good deal. But we've also made it clear with all of our guys that, it doesn't matter if it's offensive line. You got to be coming to practice every day thinking that you're going to play. And just that responsibility that goes with that every time you go to practice. And really, it's been a good thing, just with, everyone on the team understanding that this is a different year. It's a different day. And you have a real chance of playing. So what we've seen is the guys have been locked in, been more urgent, which I think is a good thing.
Next question is from Gianna Hahn.
Hi, Coach. So when we talked to Owen the other day, he said that the guys on the team are really passionate about making a difference. In your conversations with them, what sorts of ways were they talking about making a difference?
Yeah, using our influence in a positive way to make a difference in long term. And our players and our coaches are we're in this thing together, and we're united. With our plans moving forward, and more of an action plan. This whole summer we started out with the education piece, and we brought in speakers, and it was really informative, really for all of our players, our coaches. I know myself, and we did some communication, team building things, and so now it's time for the action plan, and our coaches and our players are working together.
Next question is from AP Stidham.
Hey, Coach, I'm sorry. Coach, are you excited to have the tight ends incorporated into your offense this year with Chad Morris?
Yeah, that's a big thing for Chad's offense. You look at the last 2 years, when he was at Arkansas, I think he had the second most targets in all of college football with the tight end. And so he's carrying that over here, and our guys have done a good job so far. Feel like we have some older guys that really have stepped up, and we feel like we got 2 freshmen that is going to have a chance to help too. And you'll see at times that Chad will have 2 tight ends on the field at the same time, and possibly even 3. So that will definitely be a focus for this year.
We got a follow-up from Ryan Hennessy. Ryan.
Coach, with these positive tests, I'm sure you've been talking to these guys daily through text and stuff. Anything serious, or is it minor symptoms that these players have? Are you concerned about, not just 10 days, but maybe a little longer lasting with these?
Well, each guy we're taking very serious, situation very serious, whether they have major symptoms, which we've had very few that have, or just no symptoms at all or regular. But Doc Goodlet's done a super job, like I said earlier, with the 10-day. Being out and the 7-day return to play. And if they're not ready to play after 7 days, they're not going to be out there. And Doc Goodlet and his team has done a really good job, with that.
Got a follow-up from Steve Moulton.
Yes, Coach. It's a more recruiting base. The 21 class, I know pretty much the hay's in the barn, but I'm curious from what has gone on this year, how much the 22 recruiting class has been affected.
Yeah, I think that they've been affected a lot because a lot of the 21s, even before spring break, they were at least able to visit schools they're interested in the summer and all that. But the 22s, that's a challenge. But just trying to develop as good relationships as you can, over the phone, over Zoom, and things like that.
As a follow-up, have you had any conversations with your seniors about potentially coming back next year?
We really haven't got that far. We'll probably have those conversations after the season. Everything's really just focused on right now and this season, and just trying to get our guys prepared to play.
Got a follow-up from Mark Murphy.
Coach, previously talked a little bit about trying to build coaching depth in addition to the on the field depth. Just wanted to know how that's going with guys being ready to handle more than one role.
Yeah, it's it's been good. I know the coordinators on both sides have been creative with practice so far, and because that's a reality. We've been pretty fortunate as a staff so far, but you've always got to be prepared. And the way I feel like you do that is through practice, and so our guys are off to a good start so far with that.
Coach, how many total guys have you got out there actually on the roster now?
I believe we got 122 on the roster.
122.
Thank you.
Next question is from Philip Marshall.
Yeah, when you talk about an action plan, are you talking about some sort of a public demonstration of concern or what?
Yeah, we've got a couple things that we're going to do as a team moving forward, and we're still working through those.
Thanks.
We got a follow-up from Brian Matthews.
Yeah, Coach, thanks again. I just want to clarify. You said 10 days and then 7 more days. So is it 17 total days before a player can return after a positive test?
Yes, that's our protocol here. And
as a quick follow-up also, you mentioned the players didn't want to practice Friday and Saturday. Did they discuss that with you, and did you support their decision?
Yeah, no, Saturday, I just decided that it wasn't best for us to practice. Just my number one concern is the mental and physical well-being, of our players, and just felt real strong that we needed the weekend off, and that's what we did, and I think it was a good decision.
If there are any other questions from the group, please note in the chat. We've got time for a few more. We got a follow-up from Steve Moulton.
Yes, Coach. I was wondering if you could discuss the running back room and really how you think Cadillac is doing in his role.
Yeah, well, first of all, Cadillac's doing a great job. He's a teacher. He's a relationship guy. He's really close to his players. And we've got a lot of what I'd say quality depth. DJ Williams came back last week, and we've got a lot of versatility in that room. So I'm really excited. I know Coach Morris is very excited about the running backs. And like I said, even before we start practice, utilizing those guys in the passing game will be more of an emphasis this year also.
And we got another follow-up from Ryan Hennessy.
Coach, with and correct me if I'm wrong, with 17 days, does that you as a coach feel, are you concerned a little bit about that 26 date and not being up to par with other schools? I know some other schools aren't even announcing their positive tests, but do you feel like you might be a little bit behind the 8 ball come the 26th?
I think from our standpoint, we're going to be transparent through this whole deal, and I think that's very important for everyone. As far as we're just going to control what we control in us, and not worry about everybody else, and just get our guys ready to play with the best we can, and that's the way we're going about it.
All right, Coach, that's all the questions that we have from the group. So appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.